Debbie here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thanks for joining me today. I do appreciate it. And if you're a return subscriber, thanks for joining me today. I am going to make some ATC cards out of this watercolor paper. So I grabbed this book of Winsor & Newton artists watercolor paper, and it's a 140-pound cold pressed paper. And there were 6 sheets left in here, but I got it for $1.99 at Value Village. I'm thinking that was probably a pretty good buy, guys. So I have 9 cards that I cut out of one sheet. I am going to gesso these. Let me grab a piece of parchment paper to put down on my tabletop. Okay, so this is dry, and I am going to, I think I'm going to stamp on this. So I have this stamp, and it's just like a floral flourish. Now, I don't even have a stamping block here. But what I'm going to do is I want the background to be covered so that if any of this peeks through, like it probably won't, but if any of this peeks through, then I want it to be there. See how that? No rhyme or reason. And I think I'm going to do them all just for that one extra layer of depth. I'm just going to work on 3 of these cards today. I cut 9, but I'm going to save the other 2 sets. I like to work on my cards in 3s, so I'm going to save my other 2 sets for a different day. Also, I've stamped the artist trading card stamp that I have on the back as well. So, and I did that as soon as they were dry, so I knew which side was the gesso side because it was clear gesso. And yeah, so I've got those stamped, so they have something on it. And this is my archival Rangers archival ink, and I like this because it is permanent, and I don't even know if you can see this or not. Can you guys see this? This is just, I can't even turn it in a way that you can see it. It's a stencil, but it's just, yeah, you can't see it. But I am going to take this modeling paste and I am going to use this stencil on top of this just for that. Once again, I'm going for texture here. So I'm just going to, and it's just little polka dots, just little polka dots. I don't know if you can see it now, but I'm just going to do this. There. Then I'm going to let that dry. So I have some texture on here, and I know it's really hard to see, but it's there. I'm going to add some more texture by adding some of these. Now these are these little stringy things that you get from the Dollar Tree. This is just a piece, and I'm going to use, oh my goodness, I'm going to use some glossy accents to put them on here. I'm not going to use that many glossy accents, so I'm just going to drip it on here. Some there, some there, some there, and put that one down. And I'm just going to drop these onto the glossy accents, and I'm just going to randomly stick them on there. Now the glossy accents will make those stick well. Let's see if I can get some out of here without doing it again. There, just a little bit is all you need. So just stick it on there. I got another one. There. So I'm just kind of grouping them into this bottom corner down here a little bit like that. Now, unfortunately, because of the colors, it's hard for you to see this, but I also have this other bling, and these little flowers here are smaller, but the glue on this has long since dried out, so that when you pull them off, the glue is on here, it's not on these. So I'm going to add these as well, and it doesn't matter what colors I choose because I'm just going for the shape. I'm not going for there 4, 5, half a dozen of them, I guess, if I can pull them off. I can't use these as a sticker anymore, so I think that they'll work well for what I'm going for. And once again, so I think I'm going to do it this way. Little dot, little dot, little dot, little dot. And let's just drop these on there. It'll settle right down into that glossy accents, and this is going to be stuck on there really well. And then I have to let it dry again. There's a lot of drying time in mixed media art, I find, especially if you do it like this. I mean, I had to wait for the gesso to dry. I had to wait for the modeling paste to dry. Yeah, so all this is going to do is add some texture, and I'll show you how that's going to work. So I'm going to take this, put the lid back on. This stuff, so if you're wanting to buy the glossy accents and you think that it's too expensive, this is how I do it. Go to Michael's when you have a 40 or 50% coupon and buy it then, so it's cheaper and it's going to last a long time. This is a new bottle, but I had my other bottle for, I mean, I bet you it was a couple of years. And because I don't do this all the time, but even if you were doing mixed media art and you were using it all the time, I still think that it would last quite a while. So I'm going to go over these with some white gesso, and I am going to go over, I'm going to go over most of it with some white gesso, guys. Yeah. So let me get a little painting tray here. And I'm going to put some white gesso in here. I'm going to grab my paintbrush from before because it's been in that little plastic bag. And I'm not brushing because the glossy accents is not dry yet. I just want to get some of this on these, and it'll all dry at the same time. And it's pushing back. I don't know if you can see the texture that's building up on this card, but it's quite nice. It's quite nice. And I'll need a little bit more over these ones because they are going to There. I need it to be a little thicker over those colored ones, of course. So when that dries, it'll be a little bit translucent. There's just enough white paint in here to make it opaque if I make it really, really thick. And I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to go and have my dinner and maybe come back and work on this for a little while more. So, oh, I don't know. Can you see the texture that's building up on here? Lots of circles happening on this, but I think it's going to look really cool. I'm going to wash my brush out this time because I don't want this to all dry in here. I'm going to be gone a little bit longer than that. And yes, I'm going to let this dry up. I'll be back in a bit, guys. Okay, so I'm back. Now, this has been sitting here drying. These cards have been sitting here drying for a couple of days because something came up. I didn't get back to my craft room for a couple of days. But now I'm back. And I have lots of time to work on these. So I had added this that you saw. So there's the dimension on this one so far. On this card, I just have the texture paste on the background, and I added some lace, just some torn apart lace, and kind of glued it down so you can see that there and you can hear the texture. And on this one, I just have the background, and then I added some corrugated cardboard. Okay, I'm going to play around with some color now on these cards and see what happens. I may have enough texture on here for what I want to do, and I may not. So the first one, I am going to put some of this blue, and I'm going to put it along the top. I need water on my card, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spray my card. And I'm going to make a puddle of, I'm just going to puddle this. And then I'm going to let it run all over this card and see where I just want to see where my colors go. So I'm just turning my card and dipping it. Let's pick some of this up and put it back on. See how much stays on here. So I made up a bunch of paint because I've already decided that I'm going to do a journal page later, and I'll just cover that with a little piece of plastic, and I'm going to use those colors in my journal again. So I have this one. So I'm just going to blot this up and set this down. Then I'm going to, what am I going to put on this one? I'm going to spray this first, this card, and get it a little bit wet. Remember when I did in my journal and I sprayed and it went everywhere? So I'm going to spray this and get it wet. Then I'm going to go into this yellow and just put maybe this way. Let it run this way, maybe at the top of this. Run it at the top of this. Oops, a little hair on my brush. So I'm going to do a little bit of yellow that way. I'm going to take that excess off the brush with that white. I'm going to turn this card over. I'm trying not to get it all over my nails and my hands, and I'm doing it anyway. And then I'm going to take a little bit of red, and I'm going to put a little bit of red on this side and let it drip that way. So all the stuff I've been doing lately is just experimenting to see what happens with some of the different stuff I got. I bought all these paints quite some time ago. Adding a little water. Let's let this run and see what happens. So it's running that way. Let's turn it over and let it run that way. Let's see. Some places it's turning orange, and now I'm just going to wet it down really good. I don't care if I have this puddle. I just want these colors to run together, to run right into each other. Okay. I'm going to soak that up and let that run off. It's like going through a car wash. So put it on and wash it off. So I kind of like the way that this is going. Let's let it run down this way. I'm gonna dab some of this. Maybe I don't need more paint on here. Maybe I need to just take some of it off. And then let that dry. I think that's going to be okay for what I plan on doing with it. The backs of these cards get really messy, eh? Okay, I'm going back to this one. And not very much, but in a couple spots, I want to run this down because I think it'll turn a purpley color. Just a little bit. So it's turning kind of a purpley. Let's get a little more blue on this. There. Kind of a maroon, purpley, bluish color. There. I didn't want too much. I'm going to try to do this. Oh, you can see some of the purples coming now. There. There. Just little bits of color in there. And then this one, is I'm going to take this green and I'm going to put it right across here like this. Then I'm going to wet this and let it run. There, I'm just going to keep picking this up off the table and putting it back on here now. So this is where all of this lace is on this one. There, lots of green down there. And then I need to add some of that yellow above and let it run down in. I'm going to grab another paintbrush though. I'm just using my cheap paintbrushes for this. So I want to pack some of this on here. And I'm hoping when it runs down into that green that it gives me kind of that yellowing effect. That, see how it changes the colors in the green? Turns it to that I kind of want a citron green color to happen down in there. So I might need a lot more yellow because it's going to have to run down in there. I'm not good with paints. Everybody's got to learn somewhere, I guess. Or even if I never learn anything, I will, I'll at least have fun trying. Whoops, wrong paintbrush. I'm bringing some of this green up into the yellow to mix it. There. And put a little bit of that kind of lemony lime stuff down. There. Okay, now my white. There. And dabbing some of this away. And some of it away. So I'm thinking when I'm done, a lot of this shouldn't, okay, well, I'm going to set this aside with a little piece of plastic on it to work in my journal later, because I think that's all those colors that I want. Before I go any further at all, I am going to grab my little finger dauber blending tool thing here and my ink pad. Where'd my ink pad go? It's right here. So I can't see for looking. There. So I'm just going to edge these because I need that definition that is going to go on the outside edges of this to kind of give me some focus in here. So I want, oh, that looks so nice. I like the definition of the black edges. I have to have it. Maybe it's a little bit of a leftover of coloring in the lines thing, but my little pieces don't necessarily have to be in the lines, but I have to be in the line. Does that make any sense? Does anybody else feel like that? Like they have to have a definition of where their beginning and their end is before they can carry on? Because I know a lot of people don't do this until the very end. So I just think already that makes a better card. So that's what I'm going to do with these. And of course, I always use the archival ink, the Ranger's Jet Black. I like it. I just like it. When I'm doing things like this, I like the vintage photo on other stuff, but when I have a color like this, I like to go with black. So, and that's just personal preference. I have all these little wooden pieces. See all these really neat little wooden pieces? There's a whole box of them here. And I love the little camera. I love the little clouds. What else do I like? I like these little leaves. And this little feather. And I have some flowers. So I do have a couple of these little flowers. And like this. Maybe I need 3, and I'll put them like this. I'll put one there, and then set that one on top to build that up a little bit. And I have this little wooden bird that is adorable. I have kind of like that. So then I have this camera, and let's do some travel on here. Maybe some spring travel. We've been home far too long. So let's see what we have. So I kind of know what I want. Kind of know what I want. I've gotten out some of my metallic. I love metallics on these little wood pieces. So that's what I'm going to do. This one, these flowers are getting painted in blue topaz folk art paint. And then the little bird, and I'm going to go to this shimmer gold right here. It's already, see this? It's already watered down. There's hardly any of this gold paint left. So I'm just going to soak this little bird in the shimmer. So he's not getting much paint, but it'll be fine. So the rich espresso is what I'm going to paint these feathers with. Right here, there. So those feathers, and the camera I'm going to do with the rich espresso as well, because I think any of these metallics are going to look good on these colors that are basically the primary colors. Little better. So I have all my little wood pieces covered. So it won't take but minutes for these to dry. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so this is where, to me, the fun part comes in, and it's putting these together. So I have red and green, and I have the Finnabair's Art Alchemy Metallics waxes. This one is rose gold, and the other one that I have is, I only have the 2 of them, and I have this rich copper. So I'm going to open these. Oh, that's got a lot on there. And I am going to put some of these, it's warm up here. These are really soft. And this is where I'm going to have some fun with the texture on these cards. This is the rich copper. Look what that is doing to that. Oh, it's so pretty, this stuff. I just want it on all the high points of this card. My thoughts were to use some color. Look what happens when it gets on that yellow, guys. So this is my thoughts. My thoughts were that if I put some colors, now that's coming out, onto the texture. And then I put my metallics over top of all my color. I'd have this metallic looking card with this depth of color in behind it. So yeah, I'm loving this. The more I put on, the more I'm loving it. Now look at that card. different than what it was before. And I want to put my elements on there. Before I do the other card, I want to put some elements on there and see how this is turning out. So do you think I can remember where they were going to go? So I've got my glue gun heated up, and I've got some Surebonder glue sticks in here, and I'm going to try to figure out what I'm going to do. I think I want it this way. Do I want it this way or no? I want the green in the bottom. I want the green in the bottom, and I am going to throw in one here, like that, and one here, like that. And I'm going to take the third one and run it down to the corner. So let me see. I'm going to put it on here like this. So those 3 leaves go on there. I'm going to take this and shoot some of this glue down there so that it kind of builds that little corner up so that that doesn't get pushed down and get pushed off. So I've got that corner. And then I have my little bird. So I think I need my little, so I didn't do anything on here. I'm just leaving this the natural wood. So I'm going to put this on here. And my little bird. Now I've got glue sticks on my fingers. If it's not paint, it's glue sticks. There. So I'm going to put my little bird, ouch, right here. Right here. Look how pretty that, oh, the camera does not do it justice because it just shines so much. It's just really cool. So I have that one. Now let's work on the next one. We'll put it together. I think I'm going to go with the blue. I'm going to go with this rose gold. And I'm going to get some on my finger and see what happens here. So all of the little elements on this should show up, but it kind of changes the color a bit. I'm going to just leave them down like this to rub on them. Isn't that fabulous? You don't see much of the stamping that I put on there in the first place because I pretty much got it covered up, but I do like it. I do like it. I like what's happened in the turnout. I love this little bit of red in here and how it's popping out behind these little that look like flowers now. So I've decided that I was going to put these feathers. So I'm going to put this one on here. I think it'll just be easier to put that flower on there. And then I'm going to take this one. Yep. And I'm going to put it right up that edge like that. Now I'm going to clip this off. I'm going to clip that off right even there. I don't want it sticking out. And This is getting a little bit of the metallics on it. So I kind of want this one down here somehow, maybe like this. I need to take my wipe. See how that little bit of blue behind those dots right in here kind of just peeks through now? I'm gonna put these on first, these clouds. So this one had a little flaw. I'm going to take a little music note and break a little piece off because I want this to set up like this, but I don't want it to push down here and pop off there. So I'm going to put that down there. And then put this. Like this. Like that. And that gives that all kinds of support. Now, I'm going to put a little dab there, a little dab there, and a little dab there, and see if I can hit these spaces somehow while I'm sticking this on. So that one's there. And the other one should lay fairly flat. Just like that. Right in there. Take all these glue strings and get rid of them. So that's that one. So I have these two now. They don't look anything. God, I like the green and the yellow underneath that rose gold. That is really pretty. This one, the red, and I'm going to take this. And this, if I go back and forth on this, that's not much metallic on there at all, but my gosh, it changes the look of the whole card. The whole card. So let me see what happens here. Camera. Arrow. I want this arrow to lay pretty flat. So arrow and car. So that's it. I want some more metallic on here. I'm not getting kind of the look I want yet. I'm just going to darken down this corner. I'm going to do my corners in the rose gold because I kind of like it better. There. Yeah. I do love this stuff. So I do this stuff only 6-7 times. You can't tell anything yet. And it starts to say that I left my car. Got that. I'm going to put the lids on these right now because I don't think I need any more of them. They are so cool. So cool. So arrow. car, up and over right there, and camera. Oh, that's all you need is a map. We've been home for so long. I think all you need to hit the road right now is a map, a car, and a camera. And yeah, I'd be on the road. Gone. So I have these. Now I need sentiments. I need some sentiment. I need a sentiment on here. I need a sentiment on here. And this one says, hello, spring. And I'm going to go back to this rose gold here. A little bit of fuzz on that. Oh, maybe it's just the wax from the... And I'm going to go... And it kind of, I'm not covering it, but I'm rubbing it in. So the Hello Spring still shows, but that's turned the wood a little bit more finished and darkened it down a teeny tiny touch. So I'm liking that, So I got all my Tim Holtz words out, and I found this one in the big chat, and it says friends. And I kind of like it, and I want to slip it under here, but I need to dirty it down just a bit. So what I'm going to do, because it's too white, is I'm going to go around the edge like this. There. So I'm going to put that one right on here. And I know it won't stick down on its own. So right there, like that. Friends. Get it in the right spot. So I like that one, just like that. And I do like it. It's a very cute. I got to get rid of all these little strings. And then this one, I want it to have something to do with travel. So I'm going to take a peek. And for this one, I want it to say make memories. And I do have those words. So I'm going to take the make first. And I'm going to do the same thing, of course. And memories. I was talking to my dad yesterday. And it's always so nice to hear good news. And yeah, he let me know that my first cousin's youngest daughter, and they had their children late in life, so my first cousin's youngest daughter had a baby boy the day before yesterday. So I was really excited to hear that news. It was so nice to hear something positive. I like a gungy, I don't know what this is called, but this is, I know there's a name for it. Steampunk or something like that. I love the gears and all of that type of stuff, but sometimes I just like to play around with little pieces like this. But these are a little different for me because I've never done this type of stuff before, but I am happy with the way they turned out. Play with your supplies. That's what this video is all about, playing with your supplies. We keep buying them. So let's use them up. Anyway, that's it. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet and you'd like to come back and see some more of my videos, go ahead and do that now. I'll see everybody in the next video. And until then, everybody stay well, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.